There we go. Just going to set my camera up here. It's been a while since I've done one of these interviews. Hello everybody, this is Jennifer McCreath. It is Monday, June 22nd, 2010. It's Discovery Day here in Newfoundland, and unfortunately I've made a discovery over the past few days, no pun intended, that the Newfoundland and Labrador, the provincial government folks who have reviewed our human rights code over the past year have made a decision to create a new Human Rights Act, and unfortunately they have elected to exclude, once again, transsexuals and transgendered individuals from protection under the Human Rights Act. It's no secret that trans people are among the most discriminated against in society, and it's also no secret that jurisdictions around the world are fastly starting to add protection specifically for trans people. This is a huge disappointment for me, as it is for many of my colleagues in the trans community. I can give you first-hand examples of discrimination that I have faced in the province of Newfoundland since coming out as a trans individual. Backing up, obviously, just because you put words in an act doesn't guarantee you will not face discrimination. If people don't want to conduct business with you, if they don't want to hire you, if they don't want to include you, they'll find a way around it. Oh, we just got my cat here saying hello. These cats do not discriminate against me. They love me as long as I have food in their dish and water. They're happy. I wish human beings could be more like cats in that way. However, including something in an act sends a message to society. It's a way to say, you know what, folks, we as government do not wish to see trans people suffer discrimination anymore. We respect that they're human beings and we want to take care of them. On the contrary, excluding us sends a strong message that they are quite happy to see us continue to face discrimination. The most obvious example I will talk about right now is healthcare. MCP, Medical Care Plan, Provincial Government of Newfoundland and Labrador's medical insurance plan, will provide a variety of health care products and services in terms of funding for them if you meet certain criteria. They specifically have a policy for trans people that is out of date, unfair, and discriminatory. Quite frankly, they deny care to trans people that we need, even upon recommendation by our Newfoundland doctors. I've actually gone so far as to go to the Human Rights Commission and complain about this about 6 months ago. Even though I can't technically complain under gender identity or transsexualism, I did file the complaint under the generic term of sex, which they say is the same. Quite frankly, it is not. Two perfect examples. If you need to have your testicles removed for medical reasons, if it's because of cancer, our MCP will pay so you can store your sperm in a little test tube so you can have children at a later date. If your testes are being medically removed for transsexualism purposes, sorry, it's not included. If you're a trans man, you're going to need to have your breasts removed or reduced. No, that's not covered, sorry. However, if you are suffering back pain and need your breasts reduced, no problem. MCP will cover it. There's two examples right there. Furthermore, generically, if people need care, a recommendation from their local doctor is usually good enough to get them that care. In terms of sex reassignment procedures, no. A doctor's note from a Newfoundland doctor, not good enough. We need to go to Toronto's CAMH clinic, where we have to be subjected to cruel and unusual research experiments that have nothing to do with gender identity or gender expression in order to even be considered for funding, and in 90% of the cases it is denied. Bottom line, our transgendered people, transsexuals, are not given adequate health care, nor are our human rights processes and procedures there to help us. Other examples aren't so obvious, but if you dig deep and look in between the lines, I think you can figure it out. I'll talk about my two examples of employment and housing. Before I became Jennifer, I moved to Newfoundland. I got a job. I got hired by our Newfoundland government to be a senior policy analyst. The first ever Newfoundland job interview I got, I was offered the job. I came to Newfoundland and looked for a place to live. The very first property I liked, the landlord was quite happy to rent it to me. Now that I'm Jennifer, well, lo and behold, that safe and secure job was taken away from me. I lost that job. In theory, it was not because of discrimination. I'm not so sure I believe that, though. The excuse of changing priorities and budget matters doesn't really add up when you look and see that someone else was brought into the organization and given most of the work I was doing. Beyond that, though, off I went looking for another job. I applied to hundreds of jobs, interviewed for approximately 25 senior analyst or analyst level jobs with that very same provincial government, and not one job offer. Several runner-ups. Interestingly enough, I'm coming runner-up. It always just so happens to be somebody better. I'm not sure I buy that at all. Had to look for a house or an apartment not so long ago. The previous landlord had sold the property and needed me out. So off I went. Guess what? Very few landlords wanted to rent me property. Not one. I must have hit 30 and was declined an opportunity to sign a 1-year lease to rent an apartment. The only place I was able to salvage was a student had 2 months left on their lease, and I was able to secure the last 2 months of that lease. So at least that got me a place to live. I came this close to living on the streets, for heaven's sake. Can I prove that it was a transgender matter? Not necessarily. Ultimately, though, it seems quite obvious. All other things being equal, the one thing that has changed, it's not my sex. Legally, biologically, I still have a penis. My passport and my birth certificate still says M. What's changed is gender identity, and more importantly, gender expression. I'm now living life as a woman, not just because I want to, because my doctors say it's the right thing to do. People are afraid of that. Why? There's no need to be afraid. There's no need to be worried. I'm still me. My money's still as good as it ever was in terms of paying rent. My brain is still there. I've got a beautiful bachelor degree actually sitting over there on my wall. I still hold that. The work I did, the theory is there. The work experience, if not the same, is even better. And the only job I've managed to secure is one of a physical laborer. Someone with 7 years of government work experience as an analyst, bachelor degree, puts file folders on the shelf for a living. It's kind of sad. I think it's obvious that I face discrimination, as do other transsexuals. Something needs to be done about this. It's not right. I'm going to be making a stink about this. I'm filming this video today, right now. I'm hoping that local media entities will jump on this issue, because enough is enough. It's time to end discrimination against trans people. Quite frankly, I'm ashamed and embarrassed to be a Newfoundlander today because of this. Other jurisdictions all over the states are protecting trans people. Our Canadian federal government is in the process of reviewing a bill to protect trans people federally, which is great. Province of Newfoundland, I'm really upset about this. I'm really ashamed, and I hope other people are as angry about this as I am, because I'm a good person. I work hard. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I'm athletic. I donate a lot of time and money to worthwhile causes. I speak to university students that want to do projects on this. I'm happy to sit down with anyone and give away my free time to help make this world a better place. And what do I get for it? I get absolutely screwed. Every time I look around, somebody's rejecting me or denying me a product or a service, or they're yelling at me. That's not what Newfoundland's supposed to be about, and that's not what Canada's supposed to be about. So, thank you very much for watching. I think I'm going to sign off now. But I urge you all to file a complaint, especially Newfoundlanders. Write your Member of Parliament, write the Minister of Justice, go to the media, tell them, look, Jennifer McCreath is a decent person, as are other trans people. We deserve to be respected as human beings and given rights. A little bright there, but thank you very much for watching. I'll stop rambling on. Please do comment on this. I'm anxious to hear the reaction of people for what they're seeing. So I will sign off for now. Thank you very much for watching.